Hey guys, good morning. It's my chance to do the midweek reflection this week, and I'm happy to do that. I'm actually going to just piggyback on what Nathan did last week in his reflection, and so I'd like to sing for you today a Bob Dylan song. How does it feel? Actually, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to piggyback on Nathan's theme of love, and so I am wearing my love hat. I want to read a few verses from 1 John, a couple of verses that have become really kind of more precious to me during this era of social distancing. It's 1 John chapter 4 and verses 17 and 18. Actually, I'll go back to verse 16, read a bit of that. John writes, "We know how much God loves us, and we have put our trust in his love. God is love. And all who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. And as we live in God, our love grows more perfect." That's a weird phrase, isn't it? Our love grows more perfect, because isn't something either perfect or imperfect? How does something become more perfect? Well, the word perfect that John uses is the word telos, and it's not so much an idea of something being perfect or imperfect. It's the idea of almost like a final destination. And so, like if you were on vacation and you were going to Disneyland in Florida, every mile that you drove closer to Disneyland, you'd be coming more telos. It's closer and closer to the final destination. And then when you finally saw the Magic Kingdom, that would be like complete telos. It would be perfect. You will have fully arrived at your destination. Well, John says in verse 17, where did that go? Our love grows more perfect. Our love grows more telos, more like the final destination. And the word love is agape, so it's talking about God's love. It's that self-sacrificial love that places value on others at cost to ourselves. And so as the life and the love of God is lived out through us, and as our love more fully reflects his perfect love, then our love is becoming more telos. And then John goes on to say in verse 18 that such love has no fear, because perfect love expels all fear. So as our love becomes more and more like God's love, more and more it expels fear and anxiety from our lives. And if we're honest, these are days in which we've all felt some fear and we've all felt some anxiety. But what expels that is this love of God that's developed and cultivated and lived out through our lives in increasing measure, more and more telos, more and more like that final destination, which is the love of God displayed at the cross most perfectly. And the phrase that John uses, expels or casts out all fear, my phone's going to blow over, is an interesting phrase. It's the same phrase that is used of Jesus in the Gospels where he would cast out or expel unclean spirits from people. And so really what John is saying, hey, we can have an exorcism of fear and anxiety from our life, and it happens more and more as the love of God is perfected in us. And I just want to say to you, Blue Water, that I'm just seeing this more and more in you in so many beautiful ways. Just the love of God becoming more evident, more lived out, more telos, and it's being seen through pie. It's being seen through flowers and text messages and phone calls. It's being seen in the distribution of hundreds of meals around our community here to people who really need them. And we've got to be really creative in how we love from a distance. We've got to be creative in how we make people feel our love. But one thing that's interesting, as we feel fear and anxiety, it's because our focus is inward, it's on ourselves. And as the love of God becomes more telos, more fully realized in our lives, it then frees us to focus on others. And, we got to be creative in how we do this. We actually show love to other people by keeping distance from them right now. But let me just encourage you to keep on. Love somebody really, really well today. And in doing so, you're just manifesting God's perfect love more and more. Love you. Have an awesome week. I think you're great.